and
I
take that
tried
off.
OBS. It was a mess. It was a mess. When I tried to put the pictures up and stuff, it started pixelating and yeah, it wasn't good. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Uh,
good.
no, I enjoy OBS.
I
I was
love
actually
OBS, just
I
not on
was
Happs.
oh, yeah, I've had a little issue
Yeah,
here and there with Haps, but
it is
what are you
what it
gonna do?
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working on getting OBS all set up for the show tonight. So
Oh, good.
yeah, I got a few minutes to chat.
I would love to chat with you. I want to pick your brain for a few minutes if that's okay. So,
Sure.
do you believe that the thoughts that we think about most really do direct us? Like what
Mm.
you focus on most?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a huge influence on us if
You
we're
know,
thinking about it constantly or a lot.
yeah.
Then it certainly does. Yeah.
Because a lot of people suffer what I would call in the state of pain body. You know what I mean? They constantly play the horrible records in their head.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that when I was a teenager. I'd play some, sappy song, get all teared up and feel sorry for myself and do that till I was exhausted. And then I would feel better and go, wow, I feel better. But I didn't realize it was a release. But I think many of us are just lost in that. And I know you talk about mental health a lot. Hi, Joy. Yeah. Hi, Brian.
Yeah, that's all a matter of my own mental health. I was just talking with some folks about that today, even that you know the show that Gemma and I do
Mm-hmm.
is so key in my further education and continued interest in my own mental health. Therefore, being able to share my experience and stuff has been just a huge part of you know staying on the right path.
See, I hope that people can be brave. And I feel what you do is so brave. The average person does not have the constitution within them to bear their soul the way that you do. And I've always admired that, you know. But now that show is what, 1 hour every night?
Every Wednesday, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Till when?
7. Yeah, it's 1 hour.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
1 hour. So it's 1 hour power. It's not drawn out. You don't lose, and you stay on topic,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tonight we're talking about imposter syndrome, which is
which is
it's kind of a little bit like what you were just talking about,
yeah.
but it dives more into the you know, if somebody's finding success,
Mm-hmm.
they feel like they don't deserve it,
Oh,
and
okay.
generally self sabotage and that kind of stuff. But I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
We gotta fill an hour tonight. So
But you will though, is if you have the comments going, an hour is so easy to fill.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I know that you're really good at keeping uh, the audience engaged. Feel free to read the comments, by the way. Go ahead.
I'm working on it. My Brian says, Michael and Tim, excellent discussion. I feel like we could have a solid. If I have more time one day, I'll hop on. We could have probably a really solid talk.
Do you know who is very deep? Is Brian.
Yeah, he
There,
is.
yeah, Brian is. Brian reminds me of myself when I was younger, but more centered. I was even wilder than Brian. Yeah,
You
and
strum
but
on the guitar?
um, I used to sing. I used to sing for my supper, so I did that for a while. Um, and I was a DJ for many years, which they're related in the way of that you want to be noticed. So, and that was the main reason I did it back then. from the time I was 17. I remember I had a neighbor who was an older guy, kind of funny looking, and he always had beautiful girlfriends. And I thought, what is he doing right? And then I figured out he was a DJ. And I was like, I will work for free. You tell me what I got to do. And I think I was 16 or 17 years old. And I worked free for about a year. And then I started getting paid pretty good. It was fun.
Yeah, I DJ'd a little bit. That is a fun. It was more of a hobby for me, but I did make some money doing it.
Yeah,
DJing weddings on the side.
I did that too. I
Yeah.
did Parents Without Partners for a while. I did invite Brian if he wants to come up. I don't know if he's working. But if you could do a show with him,
We
like,
have Brian on the schedule.
yeah, because he is like, he loves personal development. I think he's got the schooling too.
He's
Yeah,
supposed to. We have him on the schedule for the 21st, I believe.
yeah.
We got to iron out how we're gonna do the show with the third person on this portrait mode.
We had a subject today, and I don't know if you know Carmen, but she's a
Hmm.
very great, solid lady, and she talked about expressing boundaries within people, like, because she didn't want people swearing on a broadcast, and I'm just curious because we've got some big minds in the broadcast here, and she, to her, if you use certain words, she'll drop you like a hot potato. And one
Oh,
of the words
that's.
was the C word, which we all
Hmm.
know is, and someone had used that word, and the F bomb, and we all swear from time to time. And I was just curious what are your parameters with that, and the people in the audience, what they feel. Because to me, I think you can do that in your own life. You can, they're not bothering me. It's okay. That's life,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Life is ever unfolding. Life is messy and crazy, but I would love to address it because we had some people get very emotional, saying, you're all about control and how dare you. And I'm thinking, I think that's self-respect, knowing what your boundaries are.
yeah.
What do you think?
I think boundaries are very important. Um, yeah, you can't get mad at people if you don't let them know what they're
Yeah,
doing. You got to set rules or parameters ahead of time. You can't just expect them to know. You know what I mean? Like, if so and so doesn't like swearing in a broadcast, that's their prerogative and they're right. It's their broadcast. They have that right. And ultimately, we are all responsible for our own broadcasts, right? So, I mean, that's right there in bold letters on the terms of service.
yeah,
You, if the broadcast is under your name, possession is 9/10 of the law. So,
yeah. I like that.
yeah, I mean, if you don't like the swearing and you tell people I'm gonna boot you, then you can follow through with that all day. Now, I don't like when people just expect you to know that. Like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
You have to set parameters. Yeah. How do you do that in a gentle way, though? I think that's the tough.
Well, for like the mental health hour, we have a website and a Discord and all of that where
Yes.
there's a lot of we've set out some ground rules
Mm-hmm.
and especially we've got parameters for guests that come on the show. We've as the show has grown, Gemma and I have learned that we need to adjust different things. One of the things was trying to put some sort of rules in place for our guest. Not that I shouldn't say rules. I should say more like what to expect and what you can and can't say.
Guidelines, maybe? Is that
Yeah,
a better word?
guidelines. Perfect.
Guidelines. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid. If you want to get into something, no matter how deep it is or rough, this is a safe space. We and my audience or our audience knows that at zero tolerance for these people we're here talking about mental health, and it's a tough
Yes.
discussion. So I mean, I think there's a little common sense there on their part,
Mm-hmm.
but B, we have made it known that there's a zero tolerance policy for any kind of trolling in this type of show. Now, if it's just me and Gemma messing around while
Yeah.
she's baking or whatever, then let's all have some fun. But during a mental health broadcast, let's keep it clean cut.
Have you ever had it where it went too far? The person maybe revealed too much, and you took the show down.
No.
No, that hasn't happened. I've had people come on the show, said things they felt bad about saying, and I said no problem, I'll take it down. But the problem is, once it's on the net, it really is on the net.
Yeah, it's there
Especially
for.
if it's channeled through so many broadcasts. Because I remember our first karaoke was ridiculous. We were completely off the wheels. Like it wasn't good. Seriously, it was not good. And we got rid of it, but it's still out there. If you really
Yeah.
want to see it, I know of a place you can find it.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. And the other thing is too, anybody can record shows too,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
then you can then do your TikTok, the little loop, and you at your finest moment suddenly is played over 1,000 times. Yeah. So
And if they're really good, they can screen record it, chop it up, and turn it into something you
yes,
never
and make
said.
it into anything and have you sing a song, right? Like, especially if you're a president. I've
Yeah.
seen that, and really well done, by the way, when they do it. How did you get where you are in your mindset, where you've become so free? Because that is not a normal, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but to me, I'm kind of honoring the space that you have now, that freedom, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to be yourself.
It
Have you
took
ever had any pushback from you being
it
so
took a
open?
long time. It took a long time to get there. Um, it was not an easy road, but when I finally made it to the point where I came to terms with what I needed to do with my
Yeah.
drinking and my
Yes.
sobriety, that I just decided, I'm not gonna hide anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is it. I have manipulated. I've lied.
Yes.
Thank you, Gemma.
Thank you
I've
so much. Yeah, we appreciate it.
I've hidden in the
Mm-hmm.
darkness. I've
Yes.
isolated, detached, all of these
Yeah.
things for so long, for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just
That's
done
very
with it.
textbook too. What you're saying there. That's very textbook.
I'm done
That
with it.
yeah.
So
How,
I'm not hiding anymore. I am who I am. I'm an alcoholic.
yeah.
I have strong opinions,
Mm-hmm.
especially when uh, you know things. Nobody likes change, right? But change can be brought on in a much
Yeah.
better way. Just flat out, I'm not going to get into a discussion about it because I'm kind of past it. I've said my piece on the transformation here. I'm still here,
Yeah. You're still alive.
and
Yeah.
but there definitely could be. And you know what? I think something that helped with the process was that
Mm-hmm.
Mark Goldman finally came on with Bobby Bicker there and admitted that there was just a major disconnect in communication with us. So
Yes.
I felt really good hearing him say that.
Yeah.
Um, I
So forms of forgiveness. I feel like we shifted there quickly, but I'm catching up. Okay, I got it.
yeah.
We went from sobriety to Mark Goldman. I was just like, woof. Okay, what did I miss? Okay, we just did in the time warp there, but it must have been a comment or something.
No, I gotta get it out fast because I only have a couple minutes. But
Yeah, and then you got to do your broadcast.
well, I gotta get set up
Yeah,
for it. But
yeah,
anywho, yeah. So it took a long time to get there, and once I finally achieved it, I just
yeah.
decided I was not gonna hide anymore. This is who I am, and love me or hate me.
Well, I'm on the love side. Have been for a while. Um, I don't know if you know that, but I admire your strength, and when you go from being a person who's numb to being a person who isn't numb anymore and having to fully feel everything that you're feeling, it kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you go through darkness. Night of, there are some victories, but I think it's tougher being fully immersed in this experience called life than it is being numb.
It is. It is. It's truly. It's a whole part of this recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Is being transparent for me. This is my journey, though. This is my path.
Yes.
Um, I don't. It's not for everybody. Some people don't want to be open about it, and that is just fine. I
Right.
chose to be open about it because it helps me. Um, and it makes it a lot easier to help other people if I'm open with my stuff. I don't. I've kind of wanted to do this peer support thing for a while,
Right.
and it's something that has always interested me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I could be a very good host or somebody to turn to for peer support if I'm not transparent and open about my life. Um,
What is a piece of the puzzle in 2022 that you still need to work on? Because we're ever unfolding and trying to be better, no matter who we are.
oh, always getting better. Well, not to beat a dead horse, but I, I just had an awakening the other day.
Okay.
I was on another rant about Happs changing over, and I'm just like, it finally dawned on me that
Clicked in
yeah, that I'm doing this
to yourself.
resentment. I'm doing this resentment stuff again, and
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
resentment is the backbone to bad mental health.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's a crutch.
intrusive thoughts
Yeah.
fuels that fire.
Yeah.
So I had to do a step 10 of AA. I
Yeah.
don't know if you're familiar with the steps of
I
Alcoholics
knew some of
Anonymous.
them. I know some of them, but it sounds like you were feeding yourself poison to try to make yourself better,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
you
not going to
got
happen.
step 10 is all about recognizing that
Yeah.
and staying on top of, oh, I'm doing that stupid stuff again,
Hmm.
and catching it and then
Yeah.
correcting it. Um, so
But
that's
that's
when,
progress.
yeah,
That
that's
in
when,
itself, maybe that was placed upon your path to test you
yeah.
so that you could have, because we have to reframe everything in our brain.
I let it go on for a bit long. I
So,
didn't catch it right away like
well,
I
was
probably
what
should
was
have.
it? 3 weeks?
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, that's not long. That's some people hold on to things for years,
yeah,
right?
he's good at
Until he
spotting
eats away
stupid
at them.
stuff with me as this co-host. uh, well, I appreciate you having me up, but I do have
Yeah.
to hop down.
I'm glad that we talked it through.
Yes, sir.
I feel we went into a couple avenues that I didn't expect, but that's awesome. And
You never know with me, right?
that's Haps too.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna listen. Have a wonderful show if you can. Just do a shameless plug again, and then we'll beam you down, and I'll do like a final word and call this a day.
Cool. Yeah. Gemma and I will be live tonight for episode 28 of the
Mm-hmm.
Mental Health Hour, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yes,
And we're talking about imposter syndrome tonight. And
I
I'll
love
see you
it.
there.
Thank you for spending time with us today. I really appreciate you
Yes,
being here.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was a cool show. We kind of went in a couple of strange avenues there for a minute, but you know what?